Hi, my name is Lyla and I'm the Mini Witch. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this week's video, we're talking about the #1 tip that you need to paint better miniatures. It might be hard to believe that a single trick can lead to you painting better miniatures, but it's true. And that trick is contrast. What is contrast? Contrast is the striking difference between two nearby elements. Typically, we think of contrast as light versus dark, but there are several other types of contrast as well, all of which will serve to make your miniature more dynamic and interesting. In this video, we will go over the different types of contrast and the best ways to utilize them in your painting. Value contrast. Value contrast is the difference between the lightness and darkness of your colors and paints. This form of contrast is what most people think of when they think about contrast. In general, you want to paint the top half of the model brighter and the bottom half of the model darker. This is because your eyes are automatically drawn to the brightest area of a miniature. You can use this to your advantage by making whatever elements you really want to stand out the brightest. Elements I like to highlight are the face, whatever my miniature is holding, and weapons. Every miniature should have a bright white and a deep dark black. Unless, of course, you have a specific reason not to. Value also relates to the amount of black and white in your colors, so don't think of value contrast as only limited to grayscale. It spans the entire color range. A great way to start your model with the proper contrast is zenithal highlighting. Zenithal highlighting better illustrates the highlights and shadows of your miniature, allowing you to better visualize what your contrast should look like overall. On this miniature, I'm applying blue ink through my airbrush over my zenithal highlights so the value can show through the translucent nature of my ink. I'm also going back in and spraying lighter blue from above as my highlights and a deeper blue from below as my shadows. Next, using the loaded brush technique, which I will do a video on once I'm good at it, I'm blending in a bright grayish blue down to a navy blue in my shadows. My goal was to paint every layer and ripple of fabric with intense contrast. You should place your deepest, darkest shadows in areas like the armpits and under the clothing, while placing bright highlights in the bright shine of the eyes, as well as on edges or reflective elements. Use black and white sparingly, but deliberately. When in doubt, go ahead and paint your miniature how you normally would, and then take a second look at it and consider where the deepest shadows and brightest highlights would be and paint those in last. Hue contrast. Hue contrast is contrast through your literal colors. Colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel are complementary colors, and they have the most intense hue contrast that you can find. Complementary colors are pleasing to the eye because they activate the rods and cones within your eye, which is pleasing to the brain. You also don't have to use the exact opposites on the color wheel. Something approximate will be good enough. On this miniature, I'm utilizing color contrast within the red of his tabard, as well as the red and orange in the fire against the blue of his robes. This is obviously some pretty intense contrast, and in fact, it's on the brink of being a little too intense. But this isn't the only way to use color contrast in your model. For more subtle color contrast, you could, for example, paint the dress green while glazing in purple shadows. Glazing in shadows is one of my go-to ways of using color contrast. Saturation contrast. Saturation contrast is the difference between how saturated or desaturated your color is. If your entire model is fully saturated, your eyes are going to get fatigued and you're going to lose focus and not know where you should place your mental energy when examining a miniature. Instead, you should make the most important elements the most vibrant, and allow the boring areas to be more desaturated. Of course, there are amazing artists working on either end of the spectrum, doing full grayscale models or unbelievably vibrant miniatures. But I guarantee that they are using some of the other types of contrast I talk about in this video. Saturation contrast is the contrast that I have the most difficulty with, and I have to really actively consider using it on my miniatures. So it's okay if you're not good at all of these or don't use all of them on every miniature. Just make sure you consider some amount of contrast on your miniature. On this model in particular, I struggled a lot with saturation contrast. I focused so much on creating interesting color contrast between the blue of his cloak and the red of the fire that I didn't realize I had no saturation contrast till it was far too late. Because of this, the model is a bit difficult to read. Where are you supposed to look when the whole model is this intense? If I was doing it over, I would have darkened down his robes towards the bottom, but I was so excited to practice the loaded brush technique, I didn't fully think through what I was doing. It's still a fine model, just not my best. Here is one last note on value contrast, and that is to add lining to your work, as it is a great way to add definition to your miniature. Consider lining like adding tiny shadows to your miniature. Lining will help add definition and separation to your miniature, allowing each individual element to stand out on its own, instead of the miniature appearing as a strangely shaped blob. I prefer to do lining in a darker color than whatever my base shade of that area is, but black can also work if you want more intense contrast or a more cartoonish appearance. You can learn more about lining by looking in the description of this video here. The last but not quite as important type of contrast is texture contrast. Texture contrast is the difference between metal and fur or heavy burlap and silk. These different surfaces will be painted differently, and this contrast will help make your miniature unique. You can use texture to tell a story. For example, on an adventuring miniature, I might paint them with more rough textures. For example, the pants might have a heavier weave because they take more wear and tear, or the leather might be more beat, scratched, and creased. If I'm painting a queen, I'm probably going to want to use an extremely smooth gradation with my airbrush. If you paint the entire model just a perfectly smooth gradation, it's going to be pretty boring. So consider where you can add interest and story with your miniature by considering texture contrast. For this miniature, I had a hard time adding texture contrast. I thought about adding a weave texture to the fabric, but it just didn't feel right. Instead, I went with adding dings and dents to my armor and sword. I add these marks by painting a black line to act as my cut, then lighter lines along either edge to act as the raised edges. It's all about creating the illusion of depth. Like I said, this is the least important type of contrast, so though I'm annoyed I missed out on applying it to great effect on this miniature, I'm not too heartbroken about it. The last step of this model is to double check the highlights and shadows. I took a second look to see if I was missing any opportunities to add brighter highlights or darker shadows. I increased the brightness and saturation of my highlights, then went back in with a pure black and touched up some of the darkest areas of the miniature. Then, instead of adding more highlights, I ended up redoing a bunch of OSL after I realized that my fire was not behaving the same across the entire figure. In short, I had created a miniature where the light didn't travel the same distance depending on what surface it was lighting up. Once I fixed it, I called it done. I hope that this video was useful and helpful to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and visit my YouTube channel. You can support me in several ways. You can, of course, subscribe down below, comment, share with friends, or the best way to support me would be to follow me and support me on Patreon. Otherwise, as always, my Amazon affiliate links are down below, and you can follow me on Instagram. So if you use any of these techniques, go ahead and give me a tag or send me a message. I would love to hear from you. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.